Hey.
Legislation aimed at banning abortions in Idaho.
Oh, sorry, did I do that? I didn't know I pushed that button, man. I didn't know I pushed it. Damn talk. We have audio set here. We're running. I don't know, for some reason, I'm not hearing your audio at all. It's not good. Oh man. That's not good. Anyway, there's some going on between the radio station and the Zoom link, my friends, because I can't hear you at all.
Talk show Thursday and Friday at noon, where you can call in and get free guidance and also learn several different topics relating to ending the stigma on mental health. It's called Moments of Clarity on WTAN 1340 AM. It's with licensed therapist Tiffany Warner, who will try to end the stigma on mental health. But the only way you can do that is to listen to Moments of Clarity Thursday and Friday at noon on WTAN 1340 AM, the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Coming up this week on the Republic of Pinellas, Kevin Hazlett, attorney in Clearwater and candidate for Congress in Congressional District 13. Wednesdays at 4 here on WTAN Tan Talk Network.
That's the Republic of Pinellas with your host, Ron Ogden, and special guest, Kevin Hazlett. Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Russo's New York Style Pizza. We have some exciting news. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., we have open mic night for comics. Come out and try your comedy and enjoy some amazing food. Now, one of the winners will get $50 cash from the owner. And the address is 2233 Gulf to Bay Boulevard in Clearwater, between Belcher and Gulf to Bay Boulevard in the Public Shopping Center. We'll see you there at Russo's New York Style Pizza every Thursday. Come a little early and sign up if you'd like to try open mic night at 7:30 p.m.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you alive today after the year we had, you ain't just alive, you more alive. That's the way I see it. So I ain't scared to talk about it. That's right. Yeah, man. Right. Realization. That's right. Who all out here that did a bid? I did a bid. That's over half the people out here did a bid. That's what I'm talking about, man. And we out here right now. 22 days. Realization. That's right. Them Stubbs. Krown. Talk about it, brother. Okay. I will. I done been locked up. 10 years of my life, I done been incarcerated. Right now, I feel more alive. That's real. Street life, prison life, all of that. Yeah, see, you ain't just alive, boy. See, you different. Yeah, that's right.
This should be played at high volume.
Drop the beat. feel you. Alive. Thank God. I survive. But I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I ain't even wanna try. Just wanted to give up, don't give up. And in my blood, far too hard, but they're too nice. Split up and quick keys. As I'm looking back through the sands of times, I can see the footprints with me. He never left. Through dark times, through prison life, from that street life. Plus I'm right now, that street strikes. I'm just thanking God that I can see life. I'm alive. Yeah. Yes. More alive. I know. That might not actually, that's one of them comments. So that's one of them thoughts you just gotta have sometimes, despite how times may be, or despite the way they sometimes want to make us feel repressed, depressed, compressed, and confined. You have to either feel more alive about the situation, or at least tell yourself you're more alive about the situation. Y'all know what time it is. It's Krown Deon. Only I keep it real like that, right? Oh, anyway, it's another beautiful Monday night, another beautiful late Monday night, 10 o'clock. That means it's Revolutionary Road, Krown Deon, speaking to you from, I'm not really truly from WTAN Tan Talk Radio, but WTAN Tan Talk Radio is in beautiful downtown Clearwater, and I'm speaking to you from my Southside Hood studio. But nevertheless, I bring you goodwill, good news, good tidings, and all of that. It's just so. This is also my podcast for those that might run it back later and you're listening. This is Revolutionary Road. Sometimes I call it unapologetically revolutionary, because either way you look at it, we take our time most of the time, and we come on here and we try to give you something good to think about, some food for thought. And so I have to kind of look it up sometimes. Actually, all the time. I have to keep my ear in tune to what's going on so that I may bring it to you, and that I don't end up apologizing about it the next day, saying, oops. So here we are. God is good. You can join us at 727-441-3000. And man, you know what? An hour goes quick. So what you heard was my song, actually, Krown Deon, More Alive, featuring Kim Brinson. Kim. We'll be actually doing a show coming up Sunday. That show actually will be, as a matter of fact, that show actually is a fundraiser for a couple of things. One would be for my fellow friends in Haiti. We always want to support Haiti. We always want to support anybody, actually, that has a lot less than you have, a lot less than they have the capability of even getting or even thinking to get. By the way, I made a new song called Dreamers, and that's just what it's about. What's a dream? To everybody, I would say that the dream that people are having in Haiti is different from the dream that we have in America. I would say that the dream that people are having in Ukraine right now is different from the dreams that we have in America. The dreams that homeless people and people that are dealing with mental health are different than the dreams that, common people who dream of a better car, a bigger house, stuff like that. And a better job, better steak. They don't like the steak from Walmart, let's get an upgrade, right? So, sometimes the simplest things that we are looking for and dreaming for, hoping for, are things that people in some countries, in some situations, man, won't even begin to think about, you know. And so supporthaiti.org is one of my fundraising situations. Also, it's MS Awareness Month. That's real. Oh, thank you. That's right. That's right. Hashtag be different. That's from the one and only Deja Vu. Always a constant supporter. And you know what? Yeah. And so I said MS Awareness Month. I think I said we want to support that. Not only, my sister has MS Awareness Month, but that is not why I support it. I support it because, hold on one second. I support it because not only does my sister have it, but she joins almost every fight that I ask her to join, or that not because I ask her to join it, but because she actually does research about what we're talking about and discussing. And she says, hey, you know what, that's worthy of my support. And so no matter what she's dealing with on her own personal front, she always reaches out to join another battle. She always reaches out to say, I understand what you're going through, no matter what that is, those people or that group or that person may be going through at that time. And so that inclined me to be more, inclined to fight. And like I said, she could wake up, 100% healthy tomorrow. And guess what? You know what? I will still be a supporter of MS. And so that's another thing that we're raising money for in my show coming up Sunday. I always ask, one thing about WTA and Tan Talk Radio, you can run it back on YouTube. You can run it back on their website with Revolutionary Road. As always, you're listening to Krown Deon. And I say that because you can hear this and you might want to get a ticket. You might want to help donate to my to the causes. Anybody that listens to me and follows anything that I do, they know that I give a lot. I don't know how sometimes, but when you say God is good, that's just what it's all about. And so you got to just, but you know that they know that I give a lot willingly, and I do a lot of work. And so, hopefully they can hear this and think to themselves, you know what, this brother been doing a lot of work for a long time, and I can't make the concert, but I can still go. I might not even want to make the concert, but I can still go. And I can assure you, if you support me, then you'll be supporting a cause much bigger than myself. Like I said, I have an event coming up that will be Sunday at between 9 and 10 o'clock. I know people are working. That's a good thing about supporting a guy like myself, a serious worker and a serious, is that code word for older person? Yeah, it might be. But people who have jobs, we do understand that other people who have jobs and responsibilities and, might be mothers and all of that stuff, might be dealing with, whatever, life. Yeah, we got to get up the next day, and guess what we got to deal with? Life. And so I got my set as early as possible. That will be before 10 o'clock. And that will be at the Orpheum in Tampa this Sunday. Krown Deon live. It's more than a performance. It's going to be an event. As a matter of fact, at 10:30, you'll hear a song that I just did, of course, and I think this will actually be the first time it's playing on the radio, but actually it'll be the first time it's playing on any type of media, because this will be the first time I kind of let it out like that. And so, you'll hear another song. Yeah. And so, yep, you're gonna hear one of the songs that'll be done that night. It'll be a video crew in the building to kind of capture that experience, and it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be nice, no matter who's gonna be there, because in the end, it's going out to the world. So I invite you out. You can get online tickets at myafton.com, but I'll post all of those links. Krown Deon, the Orpheum, Sunday, 10 o'clock. Support that. If you support that, you'll be supporting something much bigger than me. You'll be supporting a lot of homeless situations and bad situations. More than anything, orphanages in Haiti, There's one family in particular, there's one brother in particular, got an orphanage of 13 children that was obviously abandoned or whatever due to serious situations. And the other one would be MS Awareness Month, and the other is just Ukraine. You know, which gives me a great segue. You know, when I've been all over, you know, as I speak, I think I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna be a troll. I'm gonna be a troll. That's the good thing about tonight. And my good friend just kind of reminded me, hey, you know, you don't always have to have a solid topic. You know, sometimes, you know, life can catch up to you, and you know, you can just talk about those things that you know and bring facts, but you don't have to actually make it direct about something else, because once you do that, that gives you no room to change. You know, I mean, if a bomb going outside, I want to talk about it, right? So, you know, I got room to change. And yeah, man. So speaking of Ukraine, it's like, I get it. I've done the research. As bad as excuse me, I'm getting a little clumsy. That's okay. I can be a little clumsy sometimes. And so as bad as I wanted to come to this conclusion, I saw where there was a lot of racism going on in Ukraine. All right. I was trying to figure out the best way to say that. And so there is a lot of racism, obviously. Bam! Thought a bomb went off. Yes. Obviously, there's a lot of racism going on in Ukraine. And, you know, I have to say that because, you know, this is what it's about. It's Krown Deon. We keeping it unapologetically revolutionary, which means I did the research, so I won't apologize about it tomorrow. There is racism against the Black and brown people that are trapped and that are in the same situation as any other person that was trapped in Ukraine. Americans, other countrymen, you know, all different nationalities. But what I'm saying is there is solid proof and evidence. It's been all over social media. And, you know, it's almost like these movies. I swear, if you haven't been watching it, I tell you, don't look at CNN. I have to, you know, I don't even know if I'm allowed to blast that like that on the radio, but they'll put the bleep on it if not. But you have to stay in tune to stations like WTAN. You have to stay in tune to analysts and people like myself, people who are not paid to dumb you down. Why did I say that? It's obvious that the current administration would have you look at things in a very kumbaya, feel good, don't worry about a thing attitude. We're doing our best to help. And Bo, oh, by the way, yes, we know they're great people. Everything is just great. We just can't do too much, but we can do a little. We can piss Putin off this much, but we can't piss him off this much. You know, we can make him upset, but we can't make him angry. And it's like, you either get in or you don't. At this point, we've seen enough to say, hey, come on. We've seen you bring enough terror and enough power and enough control and enough devastation down on countries for less. But outside of all of that, because I don't understand the bigger issue. And so I understand that we're talking about nuclear situations, and Putin obviously is not a punk in the regard of war. But I'm talking about the racism that is being evident. It's not being reported a lot, but it's all over social media. I'm looking at some of it right now on Twitter, and it's not but there's a point to my madness right now, because the narrative that you're hearing and the people that are complaining about the racism, they're doing it from a point to say, why should we care what's going on in Ukraine? Because some of the people in Ukraine are racist. Oh, the people that are guarding the trains in Ukraine are racist. Basically, they're saying some of the government officials, I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, if this was America, that would be government officials controlling the means of getting out, evacuation. That would be government officials and people of authority and security, and not Black people or poor white people or just white people or Spanish people, or it won't be the people that have no control, no power, no money, no political ambition or authority. It won't be those people guarding the train unless it is done by rebel force. So I'm saying that to say, people who are getting on the internet and they're getting angry, you're making yourself mad because you're looking at authority. You're looking at people in power. That's the same thing we see in America. So don't convince yourself that's a reason to be glad or that's a reason to say you don't care about the civilians, the people. And I do understand, I don't want anybody to say, hey, well, I heard your feed. I heard your podcast, and I tell you, there were some white people, there were some civilian people who were also being racist. And they were the ones, I understand that. I already know it's coming because I saw it. All right, but what I'm saying is one Karen doesn't make every Caucasian woman a Karen. One thug doesn't make every Black man a thug. And so, one white guy wearing a flag with a rebel on it doesn't make him a Klansman or so it's like, we can't do that. And so we're looking at figures and things of authority, and we're looking at some people say, you cannot get on this train. Yeah, they're talking to a lot of Black people, but I guarantee you a lot of that has something to do with status as well. Have you seen 2012? If you're listening, that means you're probably able to, when I say 2012, that I just told on my age. That's an old movie that came out a long time ago. But when it came out, if you was my age, you was like, 2012? It ain't 2012. And, it was ambitious. It was a crazy thought. But the bottom line was you didn't make it on that ship. If you didn't have a certain amount of money, they didn't care what color you was. If you didn't have a certain amount of money or status, you didn't make it on the ship. And you can see a lot of different movies and examples of those same situations. Let me see something because I gotta pay attention to this. All right. And so, yeah, you don't see a lot of movies or examples. I mean, there's a lot of movies of examples of pretty much the same thing, where, if you're not the right status, you don't make the boat, you don't make the plane, you don't make the train, you don't make it, period. And so, yeah, I think that's in reality. I think we're seeing it. We're seeing it in Ukraine. Unfortunately, most of those people are not just Black, but they're in situations, excuse me, lips a little bit. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah. And so the funny thing is, I'm almost positive this is a thought that a lot of people haven't given. And so the funny thing is, I'm almost positive, and I haven't heard this on the news, so it's just me. I'm almost positive that a lot of those people, I'm like, nobody tells it like Krown. Wow. So a lot of those people, they're not just Black, they're not just white people who are over there looking and seeing Ukraine. They're not just Spanish. They're not just, some of them are. They're college students, foreign exchange students who didn't have a lot of money over there at the time because guess what? Ed, or maybe the engineer for the night, had to fund their child with money. Deja, and you and me, people who are sending their kids on college on life experiences, and they're over there on a small budget. And so, do they have the means to just grab funds at the time? Do they have the means? Because everybody knows once you're over there, I mean, it might be a lot easier than it was when I was over there. Of course, you know, a lot of different things at the touch of a button, but when you start thinking about countries that like Ukraine, I'm pretty sure it's not as fast to exchange some certain things. And so that's just me going out on a limb. I would think that some of them who couldn't make the train was in other financial situations, and it probably had a lot to do because they were young. They all had these backpacks and stuff. So I'm thinking that some of them definitely was foreign exchange students. Some of them was definitely on little life experiences that maybe their parents funded. And why not? And so anyway, it's Krown Deon. You're listening to Revolutionary Road, man. Hey, nobody tells it like Krown. We are but jamming. Look at here, man. I sounded so Kimmy. Aha. I mean, like, you like right on time, connecting to the audio and things. I'm just rambling. I'm just like going in. Guess what? Kim, can you hear me yet? Sister, she'll be in Atlanta.
I hear you.
Ah, yes, I can hear you too. Yes, she'll be in Atlanta coming up. You know, all of those people in Atlanta, hey, watch out. Hopefully she doesn't go to, well, I won't say hopefully she doesn't. I'll say you'll be lucky if she does go out and grabs a microphone in Atlanta, Georgia. But that's why we'll miss her greatly. Well, hey, you know what? I won't even tell that. No. Don't tell them. No. I might lose a ticket or two. Now let me stop. Yeah, man.
So I say if I'm on the show.
Bam. So you know what? Yeah. And so I'm sitting there rambling. I'm making a debut on the song tonight about See You Alive. Because for one, when it runs back on Facebook, we don't want our songs blocked anymore. We don't want our shows blocked anymore. So we're only playing our music from now on, Kimberly.
Sounds like a pleasant.
Yeah, I like it.
We're gonna go ahead and gonna just play our music.
Yeah, WTAN, Tan Talk Radio, man. You're listening to the Krown Deon. I, Kim, and you can join us 727-441-3000. You can always join us on the website. I don't know what the website is at the time, but the YouTube station channel is always available. That was a big ball drop. Krown Deon, man, the debut. Ed, I don't know if you're ready, but you can let us go at any time. You know what? This song is about no matter what your differences are with your partner, with your friend, with your partner, the person that you like to argue with every day, your political differences. Oh, you're in the Huru movement. This person's in that movement. You're a Christian. He's a Jew, a Muslim. Oh, they're Catholic. Vaccinated. You're non-vaccinated. Hey, mandates. No, I don't want mandates. Hey, you like regular gas. I don't like regular gas. You like Putin. I don't see how you can come to that conclusion. I don't. And so, but
I think
no matter
everybody likes regular gas right now. I think everybody like regular.
Oh wait, well, hold on. Yeah, that might not be no difference in that.
That's one unified. It's like people who would have to take premium gas because they want to be unified with the regular gas.
With the regular gas. But no matter what those things are, when it comes to it, as Kim says, we want to be unified. It's better to see you alive than to have division, no matter what it's about. And hey, in the end, this is what it's about, man. Seeing a person alive, man, and you can have your opinion and I can have mine. I love to see you when I see you. Krown Deon, see you alive.
See you alive.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. What's up? Sure. Keep thinking about it, man. Yeah. Thinking about it. Sometimes you just gotta be grateful for life. Grateful for life. You, Mama. Love you, Mama. Look back at things and so many making. He's talking about whether you non-vaxxed or vaccinated, whether you this or that, or whether you criminalized, or whether you were immigrant, naturalized. Talk about it. Whether you were Christian. Christian, Muslim, Hebrew Israelite, all of them divisive things, man. Sometimes it's just good to see a person alive. I woke up and I just can't believe there's a lot of folk that ain't breathing. There's a lot of folk here just like me, like such and such still crying. Or such and such just died. Or such and such about the Democrats or Republicans still lying. But here we are with life. Virus free with no Omicron. And I pray for those that pray for me on a dang fast or Ramadan. Now it's time to put it in the rear view. No mirror for the clear view. So many folk talking hopeless. Turn the music up, I can't hear you. I swear the bombs in Gilead. Lost my brother and my dad. Then a couple folk went before that. Then a whole lot more after that. Now here we are in the aftermath. Footsteps, I appreciate it. Love all my family and my people, whether non-vaxxed or the vaccinated. Some still say it's all fabricated. Other folks like no, but we know for sure when God say it's time to go, we go. Until then, it's like big cheese, all love with a black fist. And I'm thanking God for the small things coming every day that I live. God has given us another day. I would rather see you this way. This way, mask on my face. I would rather see you this way. I'd even rather see you this way. Even with a mask on your face. I'd really rather see you this way. Alive, and that ain't no lie. When I open my eyes, I never ask why. I'm too thankful for mercy, for not passing me by. I'm grateful for life, yours and mine. No time for strife and division. Gotta leave it behind, along with violence and crime. We can't keep pretending that it's worth the division. Just love seeing you alive. I'd rather see you. God has given us another day. I would rather see you this way. This way. Mask on my face. I would rather see you this way. God has given us another day. I'd even rather see you this way. Even with a mask on your face. I'd really rather see you this way. This way. Thank you, Lord. That's good, okay. That's what I said. Ah, thank you. I loved it.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. Oh man, you know what? I do too, but you know what? I'm gonna love it more. I'm gonna love it a little bit more when Kim actually takes it to the studio. Huh?
It's the mic.
Yeah, that version is my classic Krown Couldn't Wait. And so he always has a version called Krown Couldn't Wait, or either that or Krown Tries to Sing version. Ha ha. But anyway,
you were singing.
I was singing. Yeah, I was feeling it. Yeah, I was feeling it. It's one of them things where you say, you know what? I thought I was in the shower. You know, everybody could sing when they're in the shower.
Yeah,
everybody could sing. So You know, I was in my bag.
Tasha Cobb songs, even one of Tasha Cobb songs, she says it. She says, I want y'all to sing like y'all in the shower, because everybody sounds good in the shower.
Because you know what? It's crazy. You know, it's unless you singing to your mate in the shower, but most of the time people, you know what it means. And that's one of the times that you actually feel free. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Nakedness, you know, like, even though America want to make everything in perversion, but when you think of things, when they say free, nakedness would be one of them.
Yeah.
Water would be one of them. So it's like, that is, yeah. And so, yeah, that's one of the only times you could, you know, that's one of the times where you definitely feel free, and you actually know you're actually supposed to be alone. I locked the door. I better be in here by myself.
And acoustics. You know, in the bathroom, you got the different acoustics too. So it's like all of a sudden it makes sense in the shower. Like, why can't I do this in the shower?
See, that ain't fair. To all the people that needs, I just want to say, to all the people that need showers like myself, it is not fair for a person that never needs a shower, a person that can just sing. I'm talking, wake up, sing, no lemon. So how you doing, sis? How's your week going?
Man, today
hold
was
on. My bad.
But I'm so fortunate. You know, today was a stereotypical Monday. You know, when people talk about, oh man, I had a case of the Mondays. Today was a stereotypical, everything had to happen Monday type of Monday. But God is so faithful.
Okay, talk about it.
All the time that, you know, I'm just so grateful that, you know, the things that happened today, I was able to have a job to get frustrated at work.
It is. Hey, listen. Hey, pause right there. I'm gonna tell you something. Cause you just see, you know what happens? That's when you know God is like in the program. And so we started out talking about, you know, the show being a fundraiser, and because people that we're raising funds for all over the world in different situations. And some people, what they might pray for, you know, what's a dream to some is totally not a dream or a thought for others. You know, some are dreaming for a better job. And like you just said, I just said that just to say, like you just said, a job. I thank God that I even had a job to go to. And so, yeah, I just had to bring that out as a verifying moment of confirmation that I thought was good.
Yeah, I agree.
Just thanking God for a job.
I went to help my friend move. I went back to Sarasota today.
Tell me about it. You warrior, you.
But I had gotten frustrated about it because they waited until like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock to ask me to bring my truck over there to help and bring stuff. And then I thought about it when I was on the way back, and I was like, you know what, God, you know, some people don't have real friends. First of all,
amen. There they go.
That I was able and was in a position that I could get in my car that God gave me, that was in good enough condition to drive down there and do it. I was like, I'm just so grateful that I even had the ability, the opportunity to even do it. So it's like, God is just faithful. Like, and I drove back, I was like, I'm sorry for being ungrateful, God. Like,
yeah. Hey,
I gotta, you just gotta check yourself and be like, you know, things could have been, you know, I could have had a flat tire. You know what I'm saying? I could have not been able to get in the car because, you know, I might have been having an MS flare and couldn't even walk to get in the car to help my friend do it. Like, it's so many things that could have been, but woulda, coulda, shoulda didn't happen. And I made it there and I made it back.
Yep. I don't know if you saw the comment. Obviously you will, but they just say that's right. And that's real. You know, it'd be small things like that I run into all the time. You know, some people don't have enough sense to do it, but yeah, man, you got to. And it'd be a little foolish little moment, but you gotta say it just like you said. Be like, oh Lord, forgive me. Yeah. I'm like, I'm being bitter about being, you know, blessing and being so. Yeah. Well, you know what? Woo, people, those people stuck sometimes in those selfless and actually not selfless, but those selfish people and stubborn people at the time. They can make you feel that way. And then you just have to remember that you've been that person at some point or another to somebody. You know, even if you can identify, you know, you done been like that to mama now, you know, mom and back. You know what I'm saying? You know, you done been that way to, if you ain't been that way to no other human, you've been that way to God. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said on the way down. Because when I was on the way down there, like, it didn't take long for me to go ahead and be, you know, I'm glad that I'm able to do it. But at the same time, it wasn't until I was on my way back that I was just like, when I think about all the times that, you know, you show up, meaning God, you show up without any regard for my attitude.
Right.
And, you know, my behavior is like, God, you just so faithful. I was like, my bad, God. Yeah. I got to do better.
Yeah. You know, sis, I don't know if I talked to you about this mental health, this situation with this young kid.
Yeah.
And right. And so I don't know if I told you a couple of updates, and I it's worthy of talking about. I think people in America know that you know, that's the bad thing about when situations just come up. You know, it's always good to have an open door for subjects, but I just kind of jump, and I don't have a lot of numbers to give right now. And that's a hint. Deja, hint. But she be on it though. But anyway, mental health in America is serious, and I think people really doubt how serious it is in our communities, you know, in our communities in general. You know, I don't know, Kim, how young you were when, and I know, you know, being that I remember, I think do you remember Al, Mr. Al? The long, you had to be very, very young. But this guy, he was really kind of, I guess, crazy about our mother. And you know, turns out he was dealing with some mental health issues. But I say that because, you know, way back then, we never knew until Mom told us, you know, about that. And one night, you know, it was a situation that was like just totally could have been crazy. And you know, I've seen so many of those situations happen in my life since then. The guy standing at Quickies out of the blue and just decide to stab this guy in the neck. The young lady that I used to be on as a caseworker for, getting all of her checks. You know, she probably stabbed 2 or 3 people at Quickies. And then I start seeing a phenomenon where people are calling the cops on some of these people, and the state just kind of put them right back out there, almost like it's a setup. Till eventually we see kids like the guy that walked in the church and killed 9 Black people. He was white, but he didn't have to be. I mean, well, he probably had to be. I mean, whatever. But you understand what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. But this stuff go unchecked, and a lot of times in our communities, that problem is put right back out there to bring harm right back to those same communities of poor people. These crazy people not, I mean, I ain't gonna say they're not, I shouldn't even say crazy people when it's talking about mental health, but I'm not gonna act like the mental health don't approach the North Side or more well-to-do people. But you know, we see it so much in our community, and I think we get less attention on it. And so we have less awareness. Less resources, and
we also have like the, you know, to put another L on it, less awareness, less resources, and because we don't even have, you know, our judicial system isn't even setting our teachers up to help the kids to kind of help to bypass some of those, you know, behaviors in our children. In a way, it's like they're not even going to find out. Like you said, it's different communities. Of course, it's happening all across the state, all across the country. But at the same time, when you're not even putting stuff in place to say, hey, these are things that are going to be different in these areas versus these other areas because of the demographics that they're in, the areas they're in, the parents, the living with grandparents who have different ways of how they grew up, you know, so many different things.
And the thing is, everything you named is spot on. As a mother, that's right. We got to hear from the mothers. That's why I was quiet. So absolutely. Let me read that for those that might listen later. Kim, you want to read that comment?
Yeah, she said absolutely too many broken or outdated systems. And that's exactly what it is. Broken and outdated systems.
Broken or outdated systems, indeed. And guess what? They're broken and outdated, and they're trying to actually service the same people, the same communities. And when I say communities, that don't mean Black and Spanish. That just means one word, Pope. Yeah. Whether they white, Black, Spanish, and that's Pope. And it just so happens that they're more Pope. Well, no, actually, it's not. And so, man, it's just a crazy thing. Kim, what you just said is spot on. And I think when people don't realize it as much, it's even more devastating. That awareness is if people not aware, they can't do nothing about it.
Yep. Repeating the same act, expecting different results is insanity. Exactly.
Yeah.
Definition.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of
people who go about deciding, instead of trying to help fix a problem, like she said, repeating the same thing, expecting a different result, instead of having people that's trying to fix the situation, you have people enabling the situation.
Right.
So,
right.
Mom was telling you about what happened to Zuri, for instance. My baby at the park, this kid in the park cussing everybody out, trying to bully everybody in the park. And when he decided that he wanted to push my daughter, her father stood up and said, no, it ain't gonna be none of that. And instead of the adults that were around, like it was a lot of women around, he was like the only man in the park. A lady stood up, and instead of her checking the child who has been cussing and fussing and yelling at all the kids trying to take their stuff away, this adult
just pushed the little girl down.
Well, he tried to, but before he could, he was about to go push Zuri when Chris was like, no. Her dad was like, no, you're not doing that. And somebody stood up, and that's when they said, he's not going to do anything to the child. He was like, I know, but he's not going to do anything to my child. I'm not going to touch him, but he can't do anything to my child. And instead of her saying to the child who was acting, outside of a child's place and telling him, look, this isn't inappropriate, she goes, baby, it's okay. It's okay. You want some chips?
Yeah.
And what that does, it just creates that system, because when he tried to actually run up on the adult to fight him, all the kids around were saying, and you can't hit him either. And you can't hit him either, before he hopped up and spit on my baby. It's like this child felt like it was okay to do this, instead of somebody taking to the side and saying, look, this isn't okay. This could get you locked up sometime. Right. Kids are going to jail.
You know what? Yeah, when I heard about that, I was so whatever. And you are so right. I just wanted to come in because you brought up the perfect, you said, enablers, and listening to that reminded me of something why I brought up Babe Boy, the young kid. I mean, he's a young man at this point. He's just a lot younger than I am. But
you call me Pop. It makes a difference when they call you Pop.
Yeah, he used to call. That's right. It makes a difference. And so, I just wanted to piggyback on what you said, Kim, because he was upset. Let me check the time. All right. Obviously, what happened, I want to say it real quick. I was talking about the situation that's going on, with Black people who find themselves, making themselves angry enough and listening to enough stupidity to somehow side with Ukraine. I did a lot of research. I understand there's a lot of racism going on in Ukraine by the government, and by officials that won't let Blacks on the train and the same thing we would see here, because officials will be in charge, not the civilians who are being bombed at the hospitals and being bombed at the child shelters and the schools. So those people gotta really, so I was talking about that. You can't find yourself on that side. If you're aware of Black history, you are siding with the same type of power that took you through all of the troubles that you say you've been through in your Black history. And so it's a contradiction. Now, for those, and so this kid came on and he was wanting me to go live on his page, and I couldn't do it at the time. And when I mentioned God is good, he flipped, snapped, and started talking about, you know, how horrible God was, how horrible I was, how horrible the world was, how horrible everything was. And later on, I learned he got kicked out of church 2 days ago on Sunday. You know, at that time, it was 2 days ago. And instead of me like going back in and being mad, because I was mad, because he said a lot of stuff, other stuff, you know, calling me out my name. But anyway, I went and found out what happened. I went and I watched his live that he did outside of the church, which brings me to your point. I watched his live. He had about 500 views, a little bit over 4. It was almost 500 at that time. Nobody. And he was upset. And I don't want to say he didn't have a right to be upset because I wasn't at the church and all I had was his view on the live. But according to what he said, had that been me, I would have been upset too. And I would have been pissed, as a matter of fact. He said they kicked me out of church, and he was very passionate. He was crying. He said, I rode my bicycle here, and these people, I wanted to sit on the front row to be close to the men and the man of God. Right? You know, if you're feeling lost, down, despair, you're feeling like you want to hurt somebody, you're feeling like you're angry at the world is angry at you, everything your fault, everything you touch turn to boo-boo. I want to be close to the man who said he the man of God, or I want to be close to the altar, da-da-da. I rode my bicycle. I thought about Kanye as soon as I heard that. Remember we talked, all right? So anyway, long story short, he said they told him he couldn't sit there because of the church wanting to have views. All right, that's not a good reason. No. That's not a good excuse to kick out somebody who's saying, I'm a sinner, I'm lost, I need you, I need help, I want to be close to the man that say he, you know, the man that's talking about he the man of God, or the man that's gonna pray out. Yeah. And so I went and found out, and I heard his live, and one of the things he said at the end, which brings me to your piggyback, or my piggyback, he was so upset that he ended up saying, I want to murder everybody inside of this church. Okay, all right. Mental health is nothing to play with, first of all. You know, I hope Reverend Murphy would go back and look at that and hopefully address it down with some of his friends in City Hall and take the bull by the horns and get help for mental health issues in our communities. That's not a joke. And when people anger themselves enough and make that kind of threat, they can convince themselves that that needs to be done. Yeah. But I was more disappointed that nobody, like you said, I looked at the comments, and I'm one of them people. It's like, I gotta read this. I'm looking at the comments, and nobody, one person, Charles McKinnon, the bondsman in St. Petersburg. So if you need an honest, good bondsman, Charles McKinnon in St. Petersburg, Florida. He was the only person that came on that guy's live and basically said, hey, slow your roll. You know, everybody else, they enabled it. Nobody said, hey, bro, slow down. Hey, man, what's the problem?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Let me pick you up. What's wrong? Bro, you finna go to jail. Because he said it right in front of the cops. And that's the other thing. Nobody wants him hurt. But at the same time, those aren't statements that should be able to ever, by no color, be said in front of the cops without you being checked off in the PIMs. Because the thing that I like about it, and I gotta say this before I go, that young man was on my doorstep the next day, maybe 2 days later, regretful, apologetic, and I appreciated it, but I won't forget it. Yeah. As I told my friend D, it's totally going out of his mind. That's a problem. That's a problem. When I'm talking about totally, like, flip
the switch. It flipped the switch.
Like
and now the switch is back off.
And that's a problem. Yeah. You know, I'm reminded that my father was killed. You know, I talked about, what I saw as a young baby with my mom, but and the funny thing was, when I looked at it, I was like, well, I thought Mr. Al was good. What happened? And my mom had to tell us, well, he always been a little, and she wasn't dating this guy. She was just like me. She was just a person with a good heart. I say was in past tense, but at that time, you know, my mother's with us today, but I'm saying she's no longer this guy's friend. But this guy my mother was just a person who was befriending somebody that needed help, that needed sometimes a friend, that just needed a voice, somebody who would listen. And my mother decided it was my duty, her duty, to be that person. And sometimes I feel that way. I'm here. I want to say this. That is not, unless God directly pulls you to the side, and we know when God directly gives us a mission. We can't burden ourselves with missions that are not ours. Yeah. You know, the word tells us that don't trouble ourselves with certain things and things of tomorrow and the next day, because there are enough problems waiting for you tomorrow. Yeah. So I just, you know, God is good. And to that brother, I'm so glad he came and saw me. And one of the things he said, Kim, was one of the first things, bro, I checked into the hospital myself. Why should a mental health patient have to do this himself when he said it in front of 5 or 6 cops? Because we shouldn't have to depend on you being a strong enough man to check yourself. So he was.
I'm grateful that he was. Yeah, I'm grateful he was.
God, I'm grateful that he was. But what about?
But like you said, he should not have had to be. Right. You know what, though? I'm going to tell you, I think that it's twofold, though. I know we got to get off, but I think it's twofold. Right. On the one hand, it is sad that they did not make the proper adjustments in order to get him treatment when he made the statements. On the other hand, it may have been more empowering for him to be able to do it himself. Some people, they're not as open to treatment if they don't make the choice on their own.
That's right.
So it could be, you know, in this particular instance, he was able to do it, which is what I'm grateful for. He was able to go, I know where I can go get help because y'all ain't going to help me. And unfortunately, the church wasn't going to help him that day.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, sis. And the other thing that you said is more empowering from him. The 2 results that came out in the end was better. More empowering for him. He did get the help that he needed, and he know that he did it himself. But anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened. Yeah.
Had it went the other way. Anything. We got too many situations and examples of how it could have went.
We've seen the other side so many times.
Right. And so it could have went bad had they approached him the wrong way. And it could have been, it didn't go bad when they didn't. So we'll be grateful with that. It could have went bad had they approached him. You know what, Krown Deon, man, I'm so grateful that we let the spirit just go.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. It was a good show. I don't know.
WDCF.
There it is. We're out of here.
3.
Love ya, sis.
Love you, bro.
Love you, D. And man.
I was late. I just came back from Sarasota helping my friend. I just dropped the stuff off at her mom's, and I was riding back. And I saw the little thing said, Krown is logged into Zoom. I was like, it's Monday night. Yeah. Well, you know what? I always know you're busy. So you know what? I almost, you know, I actually was supposed to go back and plug the show, but more than anything, I wanted to just kind of plug the show and let the little song debut so I could play that part of the podcast a couple of times for advertisement. And I wasn't really I ain't do a lot of preparation, so we just kind of winged it, and guess what, turned out good. I won't tell too many secrets because it's still recording, so that's how it happens when you just leave it into the hands of the atmosphere of God, and boom, the spirit let it go, and it was good. Absolutely. It was good. D, thanks as always. My sis, Kim, I keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Huh?
I keeps it moving.
I keeps it moving. Man, you're a warrior though. I mean, y'all got that thing moved, and dang. Yeah. I say you don't stop from moving to you do it all. I'm still killing them.
Yeah, I'm still killing it.
Still killing it. All right. Amen. And light. Amen. Love and light. Good night.
Love y'all. Good night.
Love and light. Good night. I like that. We out of here. Peace. God is good.
Absolutely.
You can still do that everywhere but in prison. In for all.